Welcome to Tournament Tactics. Yeah, where the sharpest minds in DFS battle it out. And only the bold play survive. Let's go! We got Kevin Allen, the Geek in command. DFS Army, he built the brand. Star arbitrage, own numbers on lock. Talking new feed while he milks the chalk. And it's BobbyWow, call him 2 times. Literally make a king with the sharpest lines. When Bobby speak, yeah, you listen close. Cause that galaxy brain just might toast your hopes. Burns in the lab with a spreadsheet magic. DraftKings book, that math is tragic. Higher rep and that Buckeye pride. Breaking the slate, he's on that ride. And Josiah, yeah, the cool black nerd. NBA stacks, that's his word. Ladies man jokes, nah, not quite. But he's still dropping GPP bombs all night. Tournament tactics, it'll bust the mind. TV sets, say chocolate guys. Brendan's blending too. Ticket team says profits, hoping you. Tournament tactics, eat up his bar. Ladies that stuff, you banking off. You smoke that bow and then buddy out of heat. Cause the fin of this new as he can't compete. Tournament tactics.
Yes. What's up, everyone? Halloween tournament tactics coming at you. NFL Week 9. So many things are happening. So many things. So much injury news happened today. The whole slate is turned on its back. We got to get into a lot of stuff, everybody. And some of us are dressed up. Some of us are enjoying ourselves. Burns is not impressed. So, guys, we had a lot of news come out. Really important stuff that has turned the slate on its head. Let me get into a couple of the items that were really, really important. Joe Flacco saying he's going to play. That's as important as anything. So, Joe Flacco is back. And we get the beautiful game environment that we were hoping for. But speaking of that beautiful game environment, on the other side of the ball, for the Bengals, not for the Bengals, for the Bears, DeAndre Swift has been declared out. We're going to find out what that means from BobbyWow, but I think it might mean Monungai season. In addition, on the Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson ruled out. Will they play Trevion Henderson as a starter? We'll find out, right? So we had a ton of running back value open up to the point where this is the running back value slate of the year. We'll get into all of that and more on Tournament Tactics, where we break down everything you need to know for the NFL Sunday slate to attack big tournaments. And I got the crew with me, as always, the spooky crew. Josiah, Burns, Bobby 2 times. Not going through the whole intros. We got kids. Want to go trick-or-treating, banging on the door. We got to get it done. Let's go. Super chat. Hate asking this, but Burns, with Surtain ruled out, Nico may be coming back. And the fact it's in Houston, could Stroud have a solid game?
Yeah, he could again. Very, very much so. We saw it last week. He lit it up with subpar wide receiving crew and a way overvalued tight end that faltered big time on the slate. So, yeah, Nico comes back. CJ Nico, might as well. I mean, especially with if Surtain's out, it makes a lot of sense.
Is Surtain looking like he's going to be out?
I don't know. I haven't heard yet.
Oh, all right. Well, let's pay attention to that. Generally, though, my sensibility would be not to play Stroud. All right. Not into it. All right, guys. Let's talk about game environments for NFL Week 9. Let's go through it. You see the green on the screen. This is the Domination Station Optimizer loaded up. We have 4 games in green. 5 games, really. So let's talk about the 5. 49ers at the Giants, 48.5-point total, super close spread. Dart is in that game. Did I just hear that Brock Purdy has been ruled out and it's going to be another Mac Jones affair?
Yeah.
All right.
Purdy's not officially out, but Mac Jones is the effective starter.
Okay. All right. So it looks like we're going to get a Mac Jones day. Fine. Could be interesting that, now Kendrick Bourne is interesting because he seems to have a good connection with Mac Jones, but I like both sides of that game. We got the Bears at the Bengals. Flacco gonna play. All he did was throw it to Jamar Chase 42 times in the last 2 weeks. That's a whole season's worth of volume in 2 games. What's he going to do today? More of that, right? Or on Sunday. Exciting game. Interestingly, under the radar, sexy game, Colts at the Steelers. Steelers games are blowing up in points this year. What the hell's going on? Interesting. Now you have the Lions with so many individual team points. They actually greened up their square, even though they're about to slaughter the hapless Vikings in this one. And then finally, maybe the game of the week. Chiefs at the Bills, 52.5 pointer. Chiefs road favorites. No Isaiah Pacheco. I was excited about Kareem Hunt until Monungai and Trevion Henderson and all of the other better running backs showed up to ruin the Hunt part. Now we have 4 to choose from. So, gentlemen, first, let's go around here. I mentioned 5 game environments that are showing in green on the screen. So my first question is and we'll go around to all 3 of you. Anyone standing out for you amongst the others? Burns, is there one of these games that you're like, yes, I see this, I see that, but this is the one I want to build around the most?
Yeah, I really like Daniel Jones this week. I think he's well in play here. I think a lot of people are going to go to Jonathan Taylor in this game. Rightfully so. He's a great play this week again against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. But I think the play is Daniel Jones. I think in this game, it's all Daniel Jones, and it's all that receiving Alec Pierce and Tyler Warren, and right back to Michael Pittman in this one. Therefore, I won't. I'll have JT, but I think at $10,000 on DraftKings, he's getting to the point where he's unrosterable because of the fact that he's constraining your salaries across the entire rest of the lineup.
He's unrosterable because I'm not paying $10K for a running back when there's a starters available at $5K. So
constrains your lineup with salary.
No thanks. All right, I like it. I love Danny Dimes this week. A very good call. Josiah, anyone stand out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be that Chiefs-Bills game. 2 defenses that are a little overrated. They're not as good as the numbers look, and that's why the total is as high as it is. Both these offenses should be able to take advantage of the weaknesses that both defenses have. So this is the one game where I do want pieces from both sides.
Hell yeah. And fuck yeah, by the way. Love that game. Love the environment. You know, Rashee Rice is playing.
The spark for the Chiefs that they needed.
BobbyWow. Any game in particular that you're most excited to build around, and why is it Bengals Bears?
I was really hoping someone else would talk about the Bears.
No,
okay?
we need you to give us the inside scoop.
First and foremost, I just want to echo Josiah and everybody else. Bills Chiefs, I'll have a ton of exposure, especially to the Bills side. Okay, the Chiefs side is chalky as heck, understandably so. I get it, but man, there are some really good opportunities to get unique with the Bills, and it starts with Josh Allen. So cannot wait to talk about the Bills side of that game. But yes, the Bears Bengals is going to be juicy. 2 really, really bad defenses, and the Bears, who have a decent defense when healthy, are not even close to healthy. Their whole secondary is destroyed. Jamar Chase and I think even T. Higgins here in a really somehow sneaky spot could absolutely pop off here. I think the Bears offense is going to put things together too, but man, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are in as good of a spot as it gets.
Yep. Love it too. And I'll take on my favorite of all of them, Giants, 49ers, Giants at home. 49ers can score, right? So you have a lock button situation where the road team is going to be able to be putting points on the board, and the home team will be forced to answer its dart. Everything connected to the dart side of that game is really cheap. There's no expensive player. Slayton, 4,300. You've got Theo Johnson at 3,500 at tight end. So easy stack. But the best part is the bringbacks, right? So everything that you're building in that one, you could bring back something from the other side. Juwan Jennings, Kittle, McCaffrey. So I just love all the pieces from that game. Very low priced. and very very unlikely that, for example, some running back is going to come in for I don't see Tyrone coming in for the Giants and stealing all the points. It's going to be a team effort. I love that spot. So all these games look really, really juicy this week, and it's a big game stack week. The other thing that it's a big version of this week is it's a big pay down at running back week. So we'll get into all that. I'm going to assume the ownerships are not going to be reflective of some of this news that all just came out within the last few hours. A lot of these running backs came available the last few hours. So let's just get an overall look at some of these ownerships across the board. Let's start at quarterback. Wait a second. What the hell's going on here?
Not so sneaky.
What the hell's going on here? Dart, 12%, the highest owned? Are these guys watching my first look videos now? Is that what's happening? They got on board. Caleb, second highest. It's not owned, BobbyWow? Josh Allen. What's up with that?
Salary.
Criminal.
It's ridiculous.
He's the highest priced guy.
He's not that much higher than Mahomes.
Yeah, but he's still the highest priced guy.
Yeah.
By $500.
This whole thing just messed up my sneaky dart situation that is just messing me up in general. All right, so you got Dart, Caleb, Mahomes, Flacco, all very chalk. Danny Jones, Burns, not super high owned at 6%. That's cool.
Yep, take that all day.
Bunch of turds that I want nothing to do with. And then you've got Josh Allen. And there was one more quarterback that we had on our list here. No. Right? Josh Allen, Flacco, Caleb, Mahomes, Dart, and Jones. Yeah, there we go. So let's get into this quarterback position. Let's get into this quarterback position here and just kind of get a sense of where everybody's at. To me, there's I'm not straying away from the 4 or 5 quarterbacks that I'm about to talk about. I don't find anybody else. And so I'm looking to you guys that maybe I'm missing something. And I'll give you the names again: Allen, Mahomes, Jones, Caleb, Dart. That's where I'm at. So I'm curious, first of all, at the top end, bottom end, if there's agreement in this, and if not, I really want to know where you guys are going. That might shock me and be like, oh, open up an idea, maybe a big milli maker play. So let's go around and let's do our normal approach here. We'll go kind of studs and duds. We'll do the over 6K group first, and then the under 6K group second. There's a few names in each. So Burns, I'll start with you. In the expensive zone here, you mentioned Daniel Jones. He's in the mix here. We got Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes. You have a favorite here. And also, is there anybody outside of that little group that you're actually genuinely excited to start this week in milli maker type entries?
Yeah, Josh Allen will be a part of the player pool for me. He's just a really good quarterback. You can run him out naked, or you can stack him with his best stacking partner in Kahil Shakir, who, in fact, is where Kansas City is most vulnerable as a defense, is over the middle of the field. So I really like that pairing. I will have a lot of Daniel Jones this week. I think he's just in a great spot this week. That game is actually more under the radar than a lot of people are giving it credit for. Even on the Pittsburgh side, is with DK Metcalf is actually really intriguing, as well as Jalen Warren in this game. It's very intriguing on the other side. But a guy that is probably going to not have as much ownership as we're showing here in the Millie Makers, Drake May, and he's just been doing it week in and week out. And I did call out last week Kayshon Boutte, and he did make tournament winning value. He was in the top 20 Millie Maker lineups. And he will be a part of this stack for me. It is Drake May and Kayshon Boutte all day long. It's Stephon Diggs has taken a step down in this pecking order. It's just been noticeable. So that's kind of where I'm going. A lot of people are going to go to the running back here with Trevion Henderson, with Ramondre Stevenson out. I think it's the pass game in this one. And so that's where I'm going with that. And then I do have others, but I'll leave them.
There we go. All right. I like it. I was just looking up Keyshawn Booty and that snap percentage and the target percentage. It's been really solid for him. Weirdly, Mac Hollins is the next man up. What the hell's going on? Are we ignoring Mac Hollins, Burns? What the fuck? 30% target share last week. Do they love Mac better than everyone now?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it, right?
What the heck is going on here? Mac Hollins, guys, if you're going to play that, pay attention to him as well. All right, Josiah, how about you? We're talking the top end of the quarterback range here. You've got quite a few to choose from. We talked about who, at least I think, stand out from this group already.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are just like the Bills. As soon as you think you know who the receiver is going to be, is some other random guy. That's what Matt Collins is. But for me this week, like Burns said, I'm on the Josh Allen play. I like Daniel Jones. We all like Patrick Mahomes up here. There's two guys we haven't touched on yet that I like. Matthew Stafford at 6,300. He's been good this season. And people aren't really hyping him up, but he's been consistently reaching value. The issue here is we need this game to stay close, and I don't know if the Saints can do that.
They can't.
But that's the miracle. That's why no one's playing him.
They definitely can't. There's no way.
I don't think they can.
No.
But there's a chance. And so I'm really just taking a shot. The Saints have given up the 5th most passing touchdowns this season. Stafford's been freaking incredible this year, so I'm just taking a shot on that. And then the one I'm kind of on the fence with is Jared Goff. He's done well against this Vikings defense before in the past. He's at home, low owned. I just think there's better game environments than this one. But from like a lineup construction standpoint, I like how different it is than what the field's doing.
I like it. All right, BobbyWow, how about you? Top zone here.
It's just going to reiterate Josh Allen as an absolute stud. I love the low ownership on him. I get he's the highest priced, but man, his stack pieces are cheap. So I think there's a lot of good balance you can have there. My Geek for Halloween, that's good.
Damn it, he's dressed up as the Jets and that they're a turd of a team.
I'm
Whereas
a hopeless Jets fan, so I guess in a way, yes, I am Geek.
See, me, instead of disparaging the Bears, I went as a showdown turd. Very specifically, Traquan the Chef. I'm Traquan Smith. You could
Lord
tell.
have mercy.
Yeah. All right, where were we? BobbyWow. Josh Allen.
I'll be
Naked?
way
stack him?
overweight on him.
Do I have to stack him?
You do not have to stack him. However, I will probably have at least one stack with him in most of my Josh Allen lineups. And on FanDuel, I like getting a little cute with Keon Coleman. He is a basement bargain price point on FanDuel. He's like 5,200.
Yeah.
I really think it's an interesting game for him. I think he scores a touchdown here and his value. So I'll be way overweight on Josh Allen and really like sneaking Keon Coleman into those stacks. I think in terms of anybody else, everyone mentions great. I love Burnsy's call on Danny Dimes. I wrote him up on my sheet. I'm pretty high on him. Mahomes going to be chalky in a great spot. And talked about Drake May. I'm a little bit skeptical on Drake May in terms of like his tournament winning upside. I know he's been excellent. He's been borderline elite this season, insanely efficient, but that doesn't always equate to a massive fantasy score. So he is putting up, especially the last, 2 weeks, 2 out of the last 3 weeks, put up some solid scores, but man, it's hard to stack him. And the Falcons have been tougher against the pass. So he's maybe the one guy that was mentioned I'm not super excited about.
Yeah. And I'll just, reiterate for myself. I'm sticking with the I'm going to call them the chalk group. Allen, Mahomes, Danny Jones in this. I don't have any need for any of these other guys. I won't have Bo Nix. I can understand the argument for Drake May, but I'm going to play Trevion Henderson and hope that the Patriots do the right thing. And
just to play devil's advocate, like his props projection is off the charts, Drake May. So
it's really good.
I totally get the play.
It justifies the play. It absolutely justifies it, but doesn't mean I want to do it. But it justifies it. Second half, bottom tier group, guys. So for me in this group, there's literally only 2 names that I see here that I'm currently looking to mess with at all, and that's Caleb and Dart, right? So BobbyWow, I'll go back to you here. Cheaper quarterback. We don't need the cheaper quarterbacks as much this week with all the running back value. It opened up a lot, but that I'm still going to play cheap quarterbacks. I love more on Flacco. So we got Flacco, Caleb, and Dart in this cheap zone. BobbyWow, any of those appeal to you? And does anybody else to go to Aaron Rodgers, Aaron? Is there anybody else floating around? T-Law, Trevor Lawrence, could he get it done? In a surprising spot. Bryce Young is playing in a terrible matchup. I don't know. I don't see anything else good, to be honest. I don't even see anything I can call out. What do you say?
I think all 3 of those guys you mentioned, up top, Caleb, Flacco, and Dart, I think they're in phenomenal spots. You can't argue the spot, can't argue the props projection on all 3 of them. And Flacco, the least exciting of the 3 overall. But, again, we talked about how banged up the Bears secondary is. If you're the Bears, you have this game circled saying we need to see a breakout game from Caleb Williams here. And, now that Swift is out, I really think the Bears put an emphasis on throwing the football down the field, getting Caleb, kind of back into a rhythm. And, he's got his full complement of wide receivers. So I'm really intrigued by what we see from Caleb this week against a really bad Bengals team. But yeah, all 3 of those guys I like. And I don't know that I'm venturing much beyond this range. I mean, I will give a quick honorable mention to Herbert, is the one guy I didn't mention above. I think he's a little bit interesting, given the matchup, and his last couple of weeks have been insanely good. But yeah, I think those 3 guys, that's where I'll be focused on in the value range.
Yeah, I agree. Josiah, thoughts on the lower cost quarterbacks? Is there one that you prefer? Is there one we're not thinking about?
I'm sorry. I was just a little distracted by Bobby saying that Caleb had his full complement of receivers. You don't count Burden being out as a big deal?
I don't. I look, it doesn't help him, but
yeah.
You got Roll and DJ healthy, and Zacchaeus has been the guy, the WR3. So I like what we have.
Yeah, I was just trying to give you a hard time. I'm with you, though. I'm playing Caleb. I'm playing Flacco. I'm playing Dart. That's about it down here. I'm a little nervous about Flacco, though. He did injure his throwing shoulder, and that's the injury. That's why he might not. Well, why he was questionable, but now he's saying he's going to play. He's also older too, so I'm playing him, but it's not with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I'm nervous about the AC joint too, but what are you going to do? Flacco's out there. We don't know what that's going to do to him, but when he's out there slinging it, it's not just Flacco. Jamar Chase is the number 1 play on this entire slate if Flacco is in the game and doing his thing. By far, more than Puka, more than everyone. But if Flacco's even just a little bit hurt, I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm not scared to play Caleb. I know a lot of people are like, oh, can we go back to him? Yeah, do it. The Ravens defense was better than we thought because they got healthier. The Bengals defense has only gotten worse because they lost their starting edge rusher. I'm not worried about this spot for him.
Every time you're a little nervous to click the Caleb button, I want you to transport yourself back in time to last week when Justin Fields and the pathetic Jets offense, led by Ty Johnson, wide receiver Ty Johnson, ended up smashing for 38 points. That is unthinkable. Unthinkable. The badness of your defense is levels. There's levels. Burns, anything to add in this lower tier quarterback group?
No, I think we hit on pretty much everyone that is viable in this area. I do see the chat, and I did look at him this week, and I actually started to build with him early in the week because of the salary savings that you get from him, and his stacking partners is Geno Smith. But I don't know if he's going to be viable enough in this week. It's just a tough week. Jacksonville they're meh as a defense, but Brock Bowers is just coming back off of injury. He would be the primary stacking partner there, or Trey Tucker. I think Jacoby Myers has pretty much almost played himself out of any roster ability in this from a fantasy perspective. It's pretty much just Trey Tucker and Brock Bowers if you're going with Geno Smith.
Yeah, Geno's a little sneaky. Not exciting, but a little sneaky. You never know. And it's not like they're going up against, anything scary on defense.
And it's interesting because his prop projection is actually in line with Aaron Rodgers, who is $1,200 more than him. So,
well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is an epic. That was weird. Power just like flashed, and my TV went crazy. It's lucky that the stream didn't just end. I had like a little flash of power issue there. That was pretty crazy.
One of those tube TVs. That sounded like
no, but when you have stream, if an app isn't loaded, I don't have like a cable. I don't have like a cord going into the television or anything like that. This isn't the 90s.
I haven't heard that static sound in 20 years. Man.
It's just when you turn it on and the stream doesn't turn on, it does that.
I think Trevor Lawrence would be the other guy to mention. If we're mentioning Geno, T-Law on FanDuel in particular, it's the grossest thing ever. I'm not going to click the button much, if at all, but he's an honorable mention.
I'm throwing out Mac Jones. I feel like that game, I'm going back to it. Why play one side, but definitely not the other side? Especially a cheaper Mac Jones at this point, now at 5K. If this game pops, so I think if I had to add a name in for me, it would probably be Mac Jones, Mac to Bourne, or some. I already like Juwan Jennings, Kittle. So I think I'll throw in Mac Jones as like that extra milli maker piece for my take. But yeah, why not? And we know he loves to throw it to Kendrick Bourne.
You might be onto something there.
Yeah, why not? All right, let's shift gear to the running back position, fellas. I don't know if these ownerships are going to be on point. They're not. So if there's too much news happening, forget all this. Like if the field plays Jaylen Warren at 20%, thank you for the money, suckers. Okay, there's no way that's going to be. Or maybe it will.
Like a good revenge story?
No, this is all stupidity. You don't like Kyron. That's not a good play. There's only
Kyron is decent play on paper.
No.
Why is Kyron not a good play?
That's weird.
Because
Kyron's game is like the lines. It's like a minus 13.5 or minus 14.
Yeah, who's on the
New Orleans on the New Orleans on the road as a defense is pitiful.
Correct. Who's on the slate? Monungai starting for the Bears up against the Bengals for 4,700 for half the price.
He can fail.
And then go to Trevion Henderson for 4,600 starting against
fail.
Okay, then go to Kareem Hunt.
He'll be
4,500.
Can we talk about this right off the rip?
Tyrone Tracy. The point is, 3 of these cheap running backs are going to smash.
Tyrone can fail.
Everybody can fail.
Exactly. That's why I say, like,
5K.
I think Kyron Williams is in one of the better spots on the entire slate.
Hell no.
I need someone to look me in the eyes. I need someone to look me in the eyes and promise me
he's 6,800.
There will not be any shenanigans with Trevion Henderson. That it will be him getting the bulk of the work.
Nobody can say.
Someone look me in the eyes and promise, please.
I can't promise that because you got Pierce, you got Antonio Gibson on the team.
No, he's on IR.
He's on the IR. Well, anyway,
but the Patriots will find someone else. Look at these scumbag Patriots and what they do. Okay, look at what they do. Back. Who's Jack Westover? I don't know, but he's getting touches. And who the fuck is Terrell Jennings? I don't know, but he's also getting touches. So the Patriots will find a way. I think they hate Trevion Henderson.
I was just saying that they don't like him.
Yeah. Harlock says they just signed Donkey from Shrek and they're about to play.
That's why I say temper your expectations on Trevion Henderson. If they liked him, he would have already been playing significant snap share this year.
They do not like him. Don't care. I will play him on principle that what should be unburdened by what has been.
You got to play him.
I can't be burdened by what has been.
I mean, he should be a good play.
Yeah, it should be.
There's always that.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, Burns. On paper, I'm sure Kyron Williams is a perfectly good play. The matchup stands out. The spot stands out. We want heavy favored running backs, all that good stuff. I'm not in love with the splits now between him and Blake Corum. I don't like it. Kyron Williams when he was smashing, was getting 95% of the touches, and now he's down to a 70-30 or even sometimes a 60-40 split. That's the part I don't really like. So that's
more viable than Monungai's on the slate and
No,
Trevion
I'm
Henderson's
kidding
on the
around.
slate. That's more viable.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap if those two guys are on the slate.
Well, you should, because
Well,
there's better value at running back
just,
for cheaper.
they're just value. That's it. I'd rather go to Kamani Vidal over both of those guys.
I like Kamani too, but Kyle Monungai, he has a prop base projection right now of 16.9, and by comparison, that is higher than than Kyron Williams, who is at 16.3. So Burns, I would advise that rather than playing Kyron Williams, you can simply bet the overs on Kyron Williams, make your money at the sports book. Or if you fully believe that Monungai and his 16.9 point prop projection is incorrect, let's bet some unders to make our money this week. We'll play it in DFS.
I'm just saying, I've seen these guys that are value plays falter a lot in DFS. So
Red Eye, the DFS song. I'm not even sure. It could be. We have a couple other rap songs. There's the Players Club theme, and then we have a long form DFS Army one that is pretty badass too.
it's all about nailing the right one, though.
Yeah. No, with these running backs, that's what I'm saying, guys. We have insane value happening here. I suggest that we embrace it. That's all I'm saying. I suggest embrace. Let's go studs and duds here. Let's just talk through who the high-end guys are. I think there are good plays all over the place. I'm still not going to have a lot of them because I'll be so consumed with just playing the value and trying to catch the right trio. There's a lot more power in putting up a 20 when you're priced at 4,600 than putting up a 25 when you're priced at 7K. It's just so much more power to the lineup. It makes the lineup pop. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the top guys here. Again, not going to be where I'm going, especially this week, but let's go kind of 7K and up. Here you got James Cook, Josh Jacobs, great spot, right? Jahmyr Gibbs, great spot. Bijan, meh. But McCaffrey, great spot. And Jonathan Taylor, right? Just on paper, these are all really good. So, wow, I'll start with you. Top zone here. You've got some choices. Obviously, we love the value plays. But is there anybody up top here that you're like, listen, I need to get some exposure to this guy?
Yeah, man, it's tough. I think to hit your point home too a little bit more, we don't often have, or we haven't at least had wide receivers worth paying up for. This is a slate where we have a lot of wide receivers worth paying up for, which, further kind of increases the value of those cheaper options. So my exposure up here will be pretty limited, but I will have, a little bit to McCaffrey, more so on DraftKings. It's tougher to make the argument on FanDuel because so much of his value comes from, his pass catching upside. You only get that half point per reception over on FanDuel. But him, and then I think Gibbs would be the other button that I'll be clicking a little bit. He's unbelievable. Gibbs has been so good, and Minnesota's rushing defense is subpar. So I think we see a ton of Gibbs again this week. And if I'm paying up for anybody, he's the most likely candidate for me.
Where'd you get the Jets jersey from? Like, where did you acquire that from?
You know what it is?
How do you even have it?
It's Tim Tebow.
Oh, it's Tebow. That's why. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. I love Gibbs. Gibbs made my first look lineup this week. I was just envisioning him running wild on a dead Vikings team, which he's probably going to do. But again, that was long before all this value opened up. Josiah, anybody you're looking to pay up for at running back this week? Any super studs really even worth bothering for with all this value?
Now, I'm following a lot of y'all's strategy here this week. I will pat myself on the back, though. People were giving me a hard time with the Saquon call last week. Like, oh, he's been so bad. You're stupid.
See?
But he worked out.
It didn't just work out. He obliterated.
He broke the slate breaker.
Yeah, so that was sweet.
James
Cook killed it last week, too, going up against the Panthers. I've been saying it since week 1. If you run to the outside, it's free game for everybody, but no one wants to listen. But James Cook finally kind of fit that bill. Josh Jacobs has the talent to do it, but I just think there's better value on this slate where I'm not trying to force it. So it's CMC and Gibbs for me.
Burns, anyone up here besides loading up Kyron Williams?
I didn't say I was loading up on him.
Oh,
I said he's in play. Like everything metrically, everything Vegas metrics wise, it lines up. Like there's
no doubt about that.
That he is a guy that could actually be viable this week. I didn't say throw all your lineups at this guy.
You gave him it was a very I thought it was a very
well.
forceful,
You were talking about him like he shouldn't be rostered at all, and I'm like, no, that's not. No, he should not be rostered. He should be rostered. Like this. It was
a very passionate defense of.
Well, it's because you were going at it like he shouldn't be rostered, and you got Manon guy and all these other guys.
Another reason why you shouldn't be rostering Kyron. And again, he's in a good spot. All that team favored, home, bad defense. All of those things are true. But they don't throw to him that much. They stop throwing to him when Puka's in the game. They just don't throw to Kyron very much at all. So when you look at his logs, whenever Puka and now two guys, well, last year it was Puka and Cup, but whenever Puka now and Devontae are healthy and in the game, they just don't check down to Kyron in those situations. They just give it to Puka. So he'd have to do it all with the legs, which he can.
Yeah, I mean, he's TD or bust type.
Yeah.
So, but New Orleans is so bad as a defense.
That's right. Yeah. Which is
kind of why
he makes factor.
Yeah. And he's not over 7K anymore. He's under 7K. So it makes more sense that way. No, it's Gibbs. I mean, last year in this matchup, Gibbs had 143 yards on the ground. He had 3 touchdowns. He had, I think, upwards around 50 yards, maybe 45 through the air. It's Gibbs. And McCaffrey will probably have a good day as well. But, and then Jonathan Taylor is getting to the point where you almost can't roster him because I'm not saying because he's a bad running back. I'm saying because when you do roster him, it's a very difficult build around him. At $10,000, it's extremely difficult to build around him. Last week at 9,500, it was very difficult to build around him.
11K on FanDuel.
Yeah, it's getting to the stratosphere of it's not because he's not a good play. He is a great play. It's because he constrains your salary to the point where you're hampered to even roster a good lineup.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a good play anymore, Burns.
I like him as a running back in the NFL. He's a great running back in the NFL. But from a fantasy perspective, he hampers our lineups because he's so expensive. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4, all that, he was better because his salary was much more palatable. Yeah, like this up in this stratosphere of running backs, it's Jahmyr Gibbs all day. Like this guy is a great running back. And his complement of running back, Monty, he didn't have as good of a game as Jahmyr in this matchup last year. But he can still have a great matchup, a great game as well. So I do like Gibbs at the top here, the best.
I like it. I mean, you could look at some of these projections and you'd see, I just want to point out with Jonathan Taylor to further enhance your point. People, if you play Jonathan Taylor this week and he doesn't score 36 or more, you're probably, that play isn't helping you.
It's got to be 40 now. It's 40 now.
He really needs to get over 40, which is so difficult for a non-pass catching running back. Remember, he's been scoring 3 touchdowns a game, setting records. That will not continue. No one scores 3 touchdowns a game for that many games. Or if it happens, it's going to be something so historic that, trust me, if you're a betting person, you should be betting against it happening, not for it, especially at chalk. So I'm not going to bet that Jonathan Taylor is going to get another 3 touchdowns. And without the 3rd touchdown, there's no way he's getting to 40, meaning that this price point, even in a smash game from Jonathan Taylor, should not hurt you if you don't play him. As a matter of fact, I'll ask you this question, Burns. Jonathan Taylor, or are you ready? Monungai and Tyrone. You can add them both together to get one Jonathan Taylor. So he has to outscore both of them.
For me, it's easy because of the way I play. I play with more. I like to have more salary in across the entirety of the lineup. I don't like to have just all my salary based in one player. So
Unless
I like
it's
to have
Jamar Chase.
No, I wouldn't even like if Jamar Chase was up here in this $9,000 to $10,000 range too. I still wouldn't be on him because Puka, I mean, he's 8,500. That's palatable.
But at $9K, still worth it.
We'll get there though. We'll get to wide receiver.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I mean, $9K for Puka. He's got to have 2 touchdowns. The last time he was $9K, he got hurt. He got knocked out of the game.
Oh, so brutal.
Mm-hmm. It was a great matchup too.
Such a chalk killer that was.
One more thing on JT, quick. The Steelers' defense stinks, but what we know about Mike Tomlin is he's going to do everything he can to take the best weapon away. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm using every, as subpar as they are, every resource on defense to stop JT, and I'm making Daniel Jones beat me. I think that's what the Steelers do. And if anything, maybe it keeps JT from scoring 3 touchdowns. Maybe he only scores 1 or 2. And I think that's enough to kind of move the needle for me off him.
And as a bonus, it also
Danny
causes Dimes to throw for touchdowns, which is what we've been waiting for. You get me a game where Dimes unleashes the full Indiana Jones awesomeness, and he's got 30+ point potential.
No passing defense in the league has allowed more yards per game than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, these Steelers games, you have to adjust your mentality, because I used to think of Steelers games as low scoring stink bombs. That is not what's going on this year.
No, I mean, they've been blowing up all week, every week. It's crazy.
Yeah, Dimes Warren, chat likes it. We're all about it, guys. So let's move on to the cheaper zone for running backs here, guys. And this is where, so I see questions in the chat, 3 running back week. The answer is yes. This is 3 running back week. This is exactly the setup for going overboard, not underboard, in my mind. I'm going to go overboard on this whole thing. I'm going to accept the value. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to court it, maybe take it out to dinner, movie, get the old arm going around at the movie theater. Try to get that. Was that your
move? Was that your signature?
Yawn. Like that. Maybe get a handhold going by the end of the show. Very politely, drop it off. Walk to the door. The whole thing. Can embrace it. Court it. Court the value. Send a text on the way home. Hey, had a great time tonight. Let's do it again. Super casual. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to seem too desperate.
How chivalrous of you.
So sweet.
Back in my day, though, it was a beep. You couldn't send a text. It's a pager. So type the words out with numbers. Good times. All right. Anyway. I can't believe he busted it out for me. Of all the people. All right. Let's talk about the value running backs here. I'm just going to name a few that are popping, but I want you guys to kind of talk to me about this whole group. I don't even know how we address all the super value, but I think the most expensive sort of value spot is going to be Kamani Vidal. He's in a great situation against the hapless Titans as a massive favorite with no backup anywhere to be found on the Chargers. So I think that spot's really good if you wanted to pay up a little bit. From there, I did hear that, not that this matters, but I did hear that Rico Dowdle is finally going to be embraced as the starter for the Panthers, but
about time.
Not on the road at the Packers. That is not the time to embrace that, but it is about time for him to get the role. Of course, you got Chase Brown, who's kind of percolating as well and not super expensive, but and Travis Etienne, kind of a decent value. But we get to the sexy zone. You're talking Tyrone Tracy, 5,100. Trevion Henderson, 4,900. Kareem Hunt, 4,700. And Kyle Monangai at 4,600. So I'm very curious for the rankings of these guys as well. So Burns, I'm going to start with you on this one. I want rankings. We got Tyrone. We got Hunt. We got Monangai. We got Trevion Henderson. Every one of them has question marks. Tyrone, not so many question marks. There, we pretty much know, but whatever. He's going to get that starting role. Trevion Henderson, the team hates him for some reason. That's a problem. They're going to bust out with some rando from the practice dot. All of a sudden, he's going to be starting. Like, what the hell's going on here? Kareem Hunt, I'm not sure that the Chiefs are a team that produces that well to the running back position consistently. Even without Pacheco, I'm not even sure that if we combined Pacheco and Hunt most weeks of the season that you'd get this amazing score. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I do like it. And then, of course, Monangai, I don't know. That seems like a fucking amazing spot.
Yeah.
Like the best of all of them, maybe.
Yeah, and that news just came down recently. So, it's something that I have to actually look at after the show, to make sure that how that's going to play out.
Call him.
Yeah. Tyrone's in the best spot. We saw Scadabo's injury. Most devastating injury you can ever have is a dislocated ankle like he did. Chris Godwin had the same injury, and it sidelined him for over a year. I can see that's going to probably happen for Cam as well. I mean, that's just a very difficult injury to get over. He'll probably be out a year, if not more. It's really going to devastate the Giants. But that aside, I think Tyrone Tracy is probably on top here of these guys from that you listed. Monangai, I got to look at it more. I got to see what's going on there.
I think you're going to find he's the best. The prop for Monangai is way better than all of the rest. So I think in the end, this is like minutes ago. We haven't had time to absorb this information, but as I'm sitting here absorbing it, I think Monangai is the best of them.
Yeah, I mean, he could be, right? Problem with Kareem Hunt, he's got Brashard Smith behind him, and they've been giving him a good amount of run. And so that one kind of like hampers Kareem Hunt a little bit. I mean, it tempers the expectation there a little bit. Kareem Hunt has been known in the past to be a pass-catching running back. He's a goal line guy. He can get the goal line carries. So he's definitely in play here too. A guy that we haven't really mentioned at all is David Montgomery. He's in play as well at this 5K range. Very viable play. He's got a nice little prop there that's popping too. That's above his actual projection, and I think his ownership is probably going to be sub all these guys when it's all said and done. I think that 5% projection there for the ownership is going to hold pretty firm.
I think it's going down lower.
It could go down lower because these guys are going to garner a lot of ownership. But yeah, I mean, if Monangai's prop is the way it is, you're going to see this guy. What's his salary? What is he? Is he 46, 45?
Monangai, 4,600.
46. So you're going to see this guy. I'll just put it out there. Don't look at his ownership projection now, but on the Millie Maker, he'll be 35+% owned, if not 45+.
No, I don't know, Burns. I don't think it's going to get that high because there's 4 of these to choose from, and I'm going to tell you that the average
matchup of all of them.
Yeah, it does.
He's got one of the best matchups, and that's what a lot of these guys go look at. These stat line guys. They look at like, oh, who's got the green number? Who doesn't have the green number? And the DVOA guys, they look at that too, and oh, he's got the best matchup. I'll put a lot more ownership on him. You'll see him he's going to push that 35% mark in the Millie.
I think I don't know how it doesn't funnel its way out to Trevion and Tyrone. So
I think a lot of people have been looking at Trevion and they've rostered him, right? And they've rostered him thinking that he's going to overtake Ramondre, and he just doesn't do it. And he may get more. He's going to get more snaps because Ramondre's out. But I don't know if he can actually if he's going to produce like they want him to produce. I don't know. It's up in the air. It's an up in the air thing because we haven't seen it all year.
to me, when he's been in the game, he's been productive. It's been mysterious why they don't give him more. I assume they're not giving him responsibility because he's not good at figuring out coverages and who to pick up.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's been better there.
I don't know why they're not giving him run, because he was great at Ohio State. Like he crushed at Ohio State down in at the end there in their playoff run. He was the guy. And so if they give him some run and they allow him to produce, because he can pass catch out of the backfield, he can rip the seam up the middle. He can do all that. He just needs to be given the opportunities to be able to do it. And I just don't know if this coaching staff will give it to him.
Well, I'm trying to get on board that train before it goes out the station, not have to chase it, so we can stay on board the next week and the week after that. You know what the worst is? When you don't play a guy when the train takes off and then you got to chase. And
I think he's in play. I think he has to be in play. He does. It's just whether he's on top of your list or in the middle. I think he's more in the middle.
So I'll go to you, Josiah. Let's order these. Let's order these running backs. I think Tracy and Monangai are the elite tier, with Trev and with probably Trevion and Hunt rounding out the bottom, or maybe you might even have Montgomery above Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm full on board the Henderson train. I understand the fear and the concern, but the talent is there. And they might bring some random guy off the side of the road and try to get him involved, but I really don't see that being the case. So I'm not overly concerned about him not seeing the majority of the touches. And I think when they see how explosive he is early on in this game, they're going to realize they just have to keep giving him the ball. So he's someone that I'm going to put up there in my top two, is Monangai and Henderson. And then we have Tracy, then Hunt in that fourth spot for me. I am also on Montgomery, but I have Vidal ranked a little bit above him. I think everyone knows the Titans defense is god-awful, but it just got worse. They lost Simmons, their starting defensive tackle. They're going to get ran all over in this game, which is part of why I'm not on Herbert this week. So, I'm on all these guys, but that's how I would rank it out. And then Montgomery's in that sixth spot for me. And then if you want to keep adding guys, Chase is in the seventh. Chase Brown.
I like it. Let's load up on three of these value running backs to afford studs at the wide receiver position.
Exactly.
Rashee Rice is on the slate. Jamar Chase is on the slate.
Josh Allen is on the slate.
Which one?
Josh Allen at quarterback. We have to pay up.
Allen. We want to pay up for that. We need that salary savings. BobbyWow, rank the cheaper running backs in your mind.
Yeah, to me, it's Monangai, Henderson. I think tier one for sure. And I think even Tracy's not too far behind. I think Hunt is the one that's clearly below those three. Again, Hunt could get there. Probably going to take multiple touchdowns from him, I would imagine, because the Chiefs aren't going to work. I'm blanking on his name. Brashard Smith, is that his name?
Yeah.
They're going to work him in the passing game, I think, more and more. And I think Hunt he resumes his typical role as kind of that goal line back and that steady first down, second down back. So I'm with Josiah on Henderson. Look, the Patriots will have no choice but to feed him the ball. The Falcons, if they do anything well, it's defend the pass. So the Patriots are going to need to establish the run, and they're going to need Henderson to do that. So I think Henderson's in line for 15 plus touches here. And look, at the end of the day, when you play DFS, if somebody fails, even if they're a smash play on paper, you just have to learn to tip your cap. There are too many smash plays on paper here. Yes, they could fail. Monangai could fail in a great spot. Whether it's Caleb putting up points or the Bears just flopping on offense, it could happen. Anyone could fail. But on paper, all the signs point to these value running backs, and you just got to learn. You say, if they don't perform, tip my cap. But all signs point to them performing, and I'll be overweight on all of them. Monangai in particular, he's been rising in the ranks since the preseason with the Bears. I mean, he's been hyped ever since they drafted him, and he's kind of worked more and more into the offense, even with Swift healthy. If you look back, I think it was 2 weeks ago, he smashed. He might have outscored Swift. And he has kind of been rising in the ranks of Ben Johnson's system. So this is a guy that is going to get tons of work, going to be involved in the passing game as well. And the Bears have been looking to establish the run. So to me, he's an elite play.
You know what I got out of that is that says a lot about Kyron this week. If Monangai was doing it 2 weeks ago, then Kyron definitely can.
Kyron can do it,
Yeah.
but
Swift
I'm not
and
paying
Monangai.
that because Monangai's
Both
on
did
the
it.
slate for half the price. All right, last thought, gentlemen. You have to be all in on a running back on this slate. 100% in your tournaments this week. Who is that guy, Burns? Who is that guy?
I mean, I don't know. Go to somebody else. I'll have to think about it.
Josiah.
I'll
who
give
is
you.
that guy?
Okay, go ahead.
Henderson.
Henderson. BobbyWow. Who is that guy?
I'll go all in on 2. Henderson and Monangai.
Let's go.
100%.
Yeah. I like
Fuck
that.
yeah.
No, I'm not doing that on the slate. If I had to, though, those are the 2 guys.
Monangai. All in. And I will do it.
Oh man, we saw it last week. I don't go all in on anybody. Everybody was so in love with Bijan, and rightfully so. He was in the best on paper matchup in the stratosphere last week. 8,800 single entries. He was owned upwards of 80%. He failed 6.8 points on DraftKings.
It's not the same.
Everyone on this slate can fail one way or the other. You do not go 100% in on a player.
That was some Burnsy Downer stuff right there.
I don't care. It's the truth. You do not go 100% in on any one player. You found out last week what happens if you go way overweight on Bijan Robinson. I was upwards in 50%. It did me no freaking good.
It's just an exercise, though, right? We're not actually 100% in on these guys. I think
I would hope that you can take that and say
it's just an exercise.
We do not go 100% on people.
I'm all in.
Vidal.
I'm doing it.
To be different, I'll put Vidal out there.
I'm doing it.
I'll do 2. Vidal and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Vidal and Gibbs?
If I had to go all in on 2 guys, Vidal and Gibbs. Boom.
You go all in on the cheap guys. When you do it, you never do it on a Bijan. Bijan at 9K needed to score 35 points to make value, right? That is an expectation that is exceeding any sort of possibility. But you give me Monangai at 4,600, knowing that he's up against the Bengals, knowing that the team doesn't have a backup player in place, and I can lock in that even if he fails, doesn't get a touchdown, kind of has a shitty game, he's still going to get me 15 fantasy points. Just by mere force of all of the volume that he's going to get being the starting running back on the team, right? So for that reason, it is okay when it's a supreme value to go heavy. Now, this slate doesn't really require it because
Roshan's out, Kanger. Roshan's out. If he was in, maybe,
Roshan's
but he's
not
out.
even in. If Roshan was in, I'd feel more about this. They got Travis Homer in there. Travis Homer, if you remember, was a backup running back like 7 or 8 years ago for some team. That's why I know the name. And we haven't heard from him in like 8 years. And now he's back. That's like if their backup running back on the Chiefs was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who it is. He's still on the team. I think he might still be on the team, by the way.
Geek is instigating even more than normal on Halloween.
all
I don't
in.
know what it is. Burnsy, he's instigating you, man. Come on.
Doing it.
I love it. I love it.
Doing it.
Trying to rev you up.
I think you do have to go all in.
Last
But
week was the prime example to take the Debbie Downer back, and because and I said it in my chat, I said, do not go all in on anybody. Because of that. It's the reason why you never go all in on any one player unless you're on a single game slate and you're limited on options.
in fairness, you know that my preferred way to attack DFS is on my multipliers and what we do on the Players Club here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. For DFS Army subscribers and DFS Army YouTube channel Pro subscribers get access, by the way, to the Players Club, where we build lineups together to attack multipliers big tournaments, 10x. We do the 25x, the 40x multipliers. We've hit 6 40x multipliers already in 9 weeks. So, folks, if you want to check that out, you want to be a part of that. You want to check out dfsarmy.com right now. Go sign up as a VIP. There's no better time. Promo code GEEK, 10% off. If you're not a sign up for a DFS side person, I don't need your fucking projections, and I don't want your optimizer, and I don't need your chat, but you want to be down with the Players Club, YouTube subscribers, if you're the high level, the pro YouTube subscriber, you can access the Players Club stream and kind of join in with the crew and see what we're doing here on Saturdays at noon, crafting big tournament winning lineups. But Burns, I will tell you that in those lineups that I craft on Saturday with the Players Club community, all the best people, including a lot of you guys who are hanging with me, I'm going to have 3 of these running backs, like Monungai, Tyrone. They're all going to start with those guys. Monungai, Tyrone, who the fuck is the third guy now? Who I forgot already. But all of these value guys.
Henderson.
Yeah, Hendo. Mix some Vidal in because you got the free money. Don't even need all the savings. But none of them are going to have the pay-ups, because that's how I'm going to build, and that's how I'm going to approach the slate. I'm just going to try to find 3 of the lower cost running backs that do enough that I can play some expensive quarterbacks. That's just how I'm going to handcraft those. And keeping in mind that I don't need to have the perfect score. I don't need to find the perfect lineup. I just need to have a really good lineup to cash in those multipliers. And that's what I'm trying to achieve rather than necessarily hitting the nuts. So when I say all in, I never do that in my MME. I'm literally building 5,000 lineups for Pocket Cups this weekend. And I don't even know how many I have reserved. There's literally hundreds of them and thousands of them even. So there's no way I could play one player in all of them. You can't even find enough lineups for that. But my numbers will be massively over the field on those guys, like at least 2x the field on every single one of them. If Monungai is coming in at 35%, I'm going to have like 70%, even in my MME. I'm just keeping it real. That's how I will attack MME this week. That's how I do it. I wait for these weeks all year. I literally wait for these weeks when this value pops. Josiah, I've been doing this for years. I wait for those weeks and then I embrace it. And by the way, BobbyWow, this is even better on FanDuel.
Yes, it is. 100%.
The level that it takes you on DraftKings is not even in the world of the benefits you get on FanDuel when this happens, especially because the field does not embrace it. I promise you, when you go to FanDuel, you will see that these guys are not nearly as chalky as they should be. And most people will always look to mix the cheap one with an expensive one. They don't actually like to do all of the cheapies together. Makes them feel like they're playing too much garbage. I don't know why it happens that way, but I've observed it on FanDuel for many, many years. The phenomenon is there. So when you have value running backs to embrace, I say embrace it. Just take it, accept it, take it in.
Especially on a slate like this, man.
Yes.
The ingredients are there.
It's not an every week thing. If this was Kareem Hunt only, all right. Yeah, all right. I still kind of like it, but not as much, but now you got Monungai and Trevion. That's what this week is about. I just hope the field doesn't all build that way. I hope they keep doing what they do and allow us the edge of them not building that way so that we can. And that will have the uniqueness that I want. Because what sucks is if all those guys will be chalk and all like play chalk guys, this or that and the other thing. What I think is even with the chalk, the field will not embrace putting 3 of them together. They'll play 2 and expensive. Everybody's going, let me get Gibbs in there. Let me get Jonathan Taylor. Let me grab Christian McCaffrey. I don't think it's needed. I think you just play the cheap ones, and we're going to make up for it by playing stud wide receivers. Let's see if there's enough studly wide receiver action on the slate to allow us to embrace this strategy, right? So let's get into the wide receiver position here. NFL Week 9. But before we fully jump into this, guys, I want to remind everybody, just hit the like button. You're enjoying this video. I don't even know what hitting the like button does. I have no idea, but it can't be bad. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you enjoy these videos as well. I did check the metrics on the channel, and only about 30% of the people who watch these videos, Josiah, are you believing this? Only about 30% of them are signed up, even as subscribers for the YouTube channel. It's a free channel.
I thought they liked us.
Guys, if you don't have the notification bell ring, you don't get notified when Josiah goes live in the NBA pre-lock show every day, 4 days a week. What are you guys doing? You're missing that. You're missing it. Spit and fire. Josiah, B-Dubs. Who else has been on the show with you?
TK, Madness is going to be on Monday. It's going to be good.
It's a revolving door of stud co-hosts. You're missing out. All right. Let's talk about these wide receivers, gentlemen. I'm just going to sort by I don't think P owned is that descriptive right now. I am a little surprised to see Wandale, second highest owned wide receiver on the slate. Excuse me?
You've been hyping up Dart too much, man.
Is this my effect? Am I having an effect on ownerships now?
They don't have Cam Scatabo anymore, so they got to go somewhere.
I guess that's what it is, man. I don't know. And then I get comments in the videos that I do on Tuesday morning about the whole industry is playing those guys. They're chalk. All right. So you're saying I made a video on Tuesday morning and all of those players turned out to be really good plays? Cool. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. All right. High end of that really did come in. That's like, I'm like, all right, well, thank you. I don't know what the chalk is on Tuesday. I'm just trying to figure out who's a good play. Then on Friday, we figure out why we shouldn't play those guys because they're fucking chalk. That's DFS. It's very frustrating. All right. Top of the list, guys. We got Jamar Chase coming off of 40 targets in the last 2 weeks. Amon-Ra? Puka? I don't even buy this. Olamide?
It's going to change. It's going to change too because the value at running back is going to put more ownership on these.
You know what? Forget the ownership. Guys. I'm not even going to embrace the ownership right now. I don't buy it. So everything's going to change so much with Monungai literally changed the whole slate. And then Trevion Henderson turned it over and slapped it on the ass. That's what just happened with those two plays. All right, let's talk about the high end. We're on a time constraint here. Actually, we got plenty of time still. We're good. So let's talk about the top end of the wide receiver range. Guys, I did something weird in my sheet this week. I just used my favorites, and I literally said, I'm not even playing these other guys. At the high end.
I thought you were going to say I core almost everybody.
No.
Because you core like 10 players.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Last week you were on like 7 players.
That's
I was like, what?
Yeah. You know what? They worked out pretty damn well. Like that's who I'm building around, and it worked out really well. But yes.
It's a lot.
Just because a player is core doesn't mean you have to play him in all the lineups, Burns. I learned that from you.
Exactly.
I learned it from you.
And we learned it last week from Bijan.
That's right. Wish he wasn't on the core list.
Or if you went all in with Christian
McCaffrey.
It's
okay. That was the right play. We have to acknowledge it's still the right play.
No,
it
Take your cap.
It was.
No, it was 100% the right play. You can second guess all you want.
It was the right play.
It was the right play.
On paper, it was the right play, but when they played out the game and the game came to be, it wasn't the right play. And that's why my emphasis is don't go all in on one player or 2 players because they can fail and they have a high fail rate in the NFL. It's the NFL.
Always happens. This week, I just left off the players that I really don't plan to embrace. So, but we have the top end here: Puka, Jamar, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, Rice, Devontae. He's been really good. Nico Collins, Roma Dunze, then Sutton, London, and so on and so forth. So starting with this top group for me, the standouts are Puka, Jamar, Rice, Odunze. Full stop. That's what I liked of this group. So I'll go around and I'll go around again, guys. In this area, I mean, you got Jamar Chase in there coming off of insane numbers of targets going up against the Bears. Home, high-scoring affair. Love that game. Looks competitive. What's not to like? Then you got Puka in a non-competitive matchup, effectively competing with Jamar Chase. I always love Puka, but I like Chase a little more. Amon-Ra in a non-competitive spot where the running game for the Lions could completely take over. Justin Jefferson to me is absolutely unplayable. Like, you have to be a donkey to play Justin Jefferson, or let's call it, you have a death wish or something, you play him. And then I love Rice. And then Devontae Adams with Puka back at 7,500 just does not seem priced right to me. So I'm not touching that. So that's kind of my take on it. BobbyWow, what do you think of this group here?
Jamar is at the top. I mean, and he's at the top by himself. I'm going to have so much Jamar Chase. I'm actually kind of sick thinking about it.
Maybe too much.
Bears, maybe too much. The Bears have absolutely nobody that can slow him down. They have one healthy cornerback. His name is Tyreek Stevenson. And the dude, he's been better this year, but my goodness, he has no hope. There's no prayer. So if Flacco's in there, Jamar Chase, could score 25 points on just catches alone without yardage or touchdowns factored in.
Yep.
I love Jamar. I think Puka's a great play. The game is competitive until it's not. Every game starts 0-0. And usually the way the Rams get a 0-0 game to a non-competitive game is through Puka Nacua. So I'm not super concerned about the non-competitive nature of what the final score is going to look like in that one. Love Puka. You mentioned Rashee Rice. My gosh, that guy is like the new cheat code. He's a stud in the best game on the slate. I'll have tons of him. And I think maybe the one guy that's going to be slept on above 7K is Nico Collins. And I understand it. Like, Broncos are a solid defense coming out for concussion protocol, but Surtain is out. And, Nico Collins, we've seen him kind of take over slates before as one of the top priced guys on the slate. Now he's down at like 7K and will be virtually unowned. When we have salary to utilize on him, I will have more interest than the field in Nico this week as well.
I love the contrarian bend of the Nico play. And, the Surtain news wasn't like readily available. We're just kind of finding out he's not going to play. So yeah, it does elevate Nico. And it's funny what you said about Puka literally mirrors what I have in my notes on my sheet already about him, which was basically like, game's probably not going to be competitive, but even in three quarters of just non-competitive action, Puka can get to 30 just because he's Puka. Josiah, how about you? Any differs here from the BobbyWow thoughts on this super group of wide receiver studs?
No, I mean, I'm paying down at running back so I can play all of these guys. So I don't really have a favorite here, but I agree with pretty much everything Bobby said. Rome is someone who's going to show up in a good amount of lines too. And I know I'm breaking the pricing rule, but I'll go ahead and touch on Brian Thomas Jr., who I like a lot this week.
Yeah.
With, Travis Hunter gone now. He's had a big drop issue this season, but he's definitely going to be a focal point for me as well.
So we're going below 7K now. Come on.
You took everybody. I wanted to talk. I just wanted to talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fair to Josiah is always in the middle I don't understand how the heads work out in the squares that they do, but Josiah always seems to be in between.
Oh, I do it on purpose. I don't want to go first. So.
Oh, is that?
This is a happy middle.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, how do you guys always arrange like that? All right. So, Burns, what about you?
Yeah, Puka is going to be. He is a guy that just crushes people. He is awesome on every slate whatsoever, and the one slate he faltered this year. He got hurt in game, so he was primed there. Well, now we're what is this, Hollywood Squares?
Now you're just going to mess my ability to host this thing up completely. I just where I am.
Puka against New Orleans. I mean, this guy can just dice these guys apart. I think if Jamar Chase is still at 35%, he's going to be in the Millie Maker around 50%, especially when we get this value at running back. And rightfully so. I mean, he's in one of the best matchups on paper of the entire slate. But don't forget about T. Higgins in that game. And T. Higgins can actually, and I get Bobby's point too, and it's right. I mean, the target share is going to be high for Jamar Chase, and the receptions will be high. The yardage could be high too. But T. Higgins could get all the touchdowns in this game. So I
love T. Higgins.
And Rashee Rice is, You guys are right. I mean, he's a shiny new toy in the offense, and they're just going to him all the time. And he's great. He's gonna produce. This is a great matchup for him too. Love the Nico call. I think having Patrick Surtain out, in which we just learned, boosts Nico so much in this offense. He's coming back after being injured, and we saw 3 WRs that nobody's ever, 2 rookies, and Hutchinson, who was actually the best of the 3 last week in terms of fantasy production. We saw what they did last week, and you just add Puka you add Nico to the mix, and it's just like, it's crazy what they can do here. But yeah, like Roman Dunze is one of my favorite plays on the entire slate at the WR position. I mean, he's produced week in and week out with Caleb, even when Caleb has a poor game metrically from a fantasy perspective. Rome still produces 15 to 20 points. So that's pretty much his floor. And then the BTJ call, I've been on him all week. I think he's a great call.
I just thought of a nickname for BTJ.
Well, I was on him before. You had Travis Hunter out. I was actually getting on him before. And because, Travis Hunter, he popped for 11 targets last week, and everybody's like, oh, no, we got to go to Travis Hunter because, he just got all those targets and he's the new guy. And, the rapport, they got the commercial, him and Trevor, they got that commercial, Lottie freaking da. Who cares? This is BTJ's game. Come on.
You ready
BTJ
for the nickname?
Will be.
Well, I got to share it.
There's another guy in the offense that I think could actually explode.
You ready for this? The
Okay.
BTJ killer.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about okay. I know where you went there.
A
Like the
nickname
BTK.
Yeah.
BTK?
The BTJ killer.
I know what you're going there. Yeah.
This week, going to be crushing other people in tournaments. Look at that prop projection for Brian Thomas Jr. all the way up at 16.2. The next closest guy, that's above Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
So that should tell you what you need to know. We'll get to the cheaper wide receivers here in a second, but again, just by these numbers, it's very clear to me. So my order, it would be Chase, Rice, Puka, Rome, BTJ, pretty much in that order. But those are the ones that I will be targeting from this upper group. And, I like the idea of Nico Collins a little bit as well in tournaments. I kind of like the idea a little bit with CJ Stroud heating up. So I wasn't on it, but
they're at home too. So
yeah,
better.
I would embrace that. I would embrace
Stroud,
that.
it's better.
Yeah, this feels better than playing CJ. So I'll do it.
Let's go to the lower group here. Chris Olave, no. You know how no Chris Olave is for me right now? I just unfriended him in my actual domination station. He's already gone. There's no playing.
I've been saying
I can't play him. He's gone. I can't play him. So I had to uncheck him. So in the secondary, that's how no. Guys, don't play anything connected to the Saints this week if you like your money. Nothing. Only Rams defense. That's the closest thing to a Saints player that I'm going to be messing with. Rams defense.
And as bad as he is, let's not forget what he did to the Bears. So
who's that?
Olave.
Yeah, well, he had the rattlesnake, who is a real quarterback compared to Tyler Shook.
Okay. All right. Whoa.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't have time to get into that, but I wholeheartedly disagree with you there.
I'm saying the rattlesnake is levels above Tyler Shook.
Oh, my Lord.
Levels.
No.
You're only saying that because we don't have time. Oh, man.
Levels. Now, let's talk about the rest of these wide receivers. Secondary group, sub 6K. You got Ladd McConkey. He's been hot. Lots of Q tags going around on the whole of the Chargers kind of receivers, but non-competitive matchup. It's probably not for me so much. Michael Pittman, really probably for me. Somebody I'm going to look to pair up with Daniel Jones. Probably not a guy that I'm looking to play as a standalone. T. Higgins, yes, right? So you got this next little group here. I don't have a ton of interest in really these mid-salary, these 5K guys. So I'm just going to stick with that theme. Burns for a second here. just in like the 6 to 5K range with this group. Worthy's in there. Yeah, stacked with Mahomes, but probably not a one-off for me. Anybody, you know, K-Shack, again, stacked with Allen, but I'm not playing that a one-off. Is there anybody here that's a one-off player that you're like, I'm playing this guy, not with this quarterback?
Yeah, I think I'd go a little bit differently than you. I think Michael Pittman is a one-off for me. I can definitely use him as a one-off. Probably more so than any other guy on this entire listing of 5K wide receivers, because he has been getting it done week in and week out. I mean, he's like, his floor is like 17, 16 potentially. And so in a single entry contest, like,
but
you know,
can I counter argue that? You're playing so much Daniel Jones. Why wouldn't you contain the damage to those lineups?
Well, because Burns doesn't plan for damage. He plans for surplus.
Got to contain the damage.
Games.
So
he wants to spread the love.
No.
So the way I play, you know,
mindset.
Most of the guys, you know, when we have our global maxes on players, you know, most of the percentage of that ownership is going to be paired with their quarterback, and then the variance between the two, the max and then what's left over from not being with the quarterback is also going to be in play as one-offs. So I like the fact that it'll actually allow me to get that difference of whatever that percentage is to one-off him. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these guys in this 5K range are great. Like touched on T. Higgins, great play. Keenan Allen, another solid play. Kahil Shakur, he's another solid play with Josh Allen. So these guys are really good plays, and they should be in your player pool. But yeah, like Michael Pittman for me in this, I'm not probably going to be on Quentin Johnson this week. I'm, you know, Stephon Diggs. I don't know about Jordan Addison either. I'm probably not going to be on these guys. So a lot of my individual ownership will be supplanted right on just a couple of these guys, and Wandell's another one, you know. So yeah, and then just below them is Kayshon Boutte. So I'll have ownership in these guys. You know, these guys are good plays.
Yeah, there we go. I all good plays or some good plays, but if I had to pick a one-off, for me it'd probably be T rather than Pittman. Again, mostly because I'll just have enough Danny Jones exposure with Pittman that if that goes off, I'm already good to go with those lineups. I don't need to put him in other lineups that aren't. That's kind of how I would do it. If I have so much of a stack, I tend to not want to play that much as a one-off outside of the stack, just because I want to contain any sort of, like, if there's a chalk explosion, I don't want it destroying other lineups that I've built for that slate. Josiah, how about you? In this mid zone here, anybody popping for you as kind of a one-offer?
Yeah, well, I'll touch on this subject too. I lean a little bit closer to the Burns. I don't usually have someone I'm like, hey, you're only going to be a one-off. I like to have that mixture, be a super spreader like Bobby was talking about. But when it comes to one guy, it's probably going to be Lad for me. I've been talking up Lad really all season, even when everyone else was down on him. He's still the guy here. And the targets have been there. I like him a lot in this price range and in this matchup. Another guy I'll mention is DJ Moore. I like that game environment, and he's really low owned, so I think he's a little sneaky here.
That's for DJ
Moore.
Moore.
Why?
DJ Moore has yet to cross the 10-point threshold in a game this season. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, so did Pat Fryermuth. And then they played the Bengals.
Yeah, that's fair. Mostly I have a lot of DJ Moore in best ball. That was one of my errors of the season. I was expecting more.
This is when he comes home.
It feels a little early to call the season at this point. But
I mean, we're 9 games in, BobbyWow. The kid hasn't crossed 10 fantasy points.
We're 7 games in. 7.
They had a bye.
That's fair. All right. You still believe. Okay. You're playing some DJ Moore. Okay.
Look, I think, in all seriousness, DJ has done nothing to warrant tournament winning upside yet, but the Bengals are a get right spot for wide receivers, and DJ Moore's price has come down far enough to where you're going to want some DJ Moore in your lineups at 5,200. This is the team to attack. We've seen it week in, week out, And DJ again did not put up a good score, but did set a season high in targets with 7 last week. So I think there's reason to roster him. T. Higgins is my guy though.
I have a season-long team decision between DJ Moore and Parker Washington, and I really have to think about it. Like, I'm not sure which way to go. I'm not sure.
Talked about not, pooping on the Bears earlier. That is the most disgusting, vile,
that's a real
disrespectful
dilemma
thing ever said.
That's a real dilemma that I'm
no.
like, who should I play? I'm not sure.
No. Oh my Lord.
I'm saying that's a real. I'm like, I'm not sure which one I want to play. Like, that's a real thing that's going on in one of my leagues right now. And initially I slotted in Parker Washington, but you're making me think I should swap it back to DJ Moore right now.
He might want to keep that turd hat on until further notice. That's the craziest move I've ever seen.
This is why people watch. This is why people watch the show. Guys, hit the like button if you enjoy a little bit of conflict between the crew here, because this is a conflict one. It's happening here. There's some spookily ooklies going on here for Halloween.
I think the one thing I'll say about T. Higgins is, and then we can move on, but I will have one of Jamar or T in virtually every one of my lineups this
Let's
week.
go. I love that.
So I don't really believe in exceeding like 50% exposure on a wide receiver. I'll probably end up matching the field on Chase at 40%, 45%. I will be close to 30, 35% on T. Higgins as well. He is just insanely cheap, man. Insanely cheap. And the Bears, their only notable player in the secondary, will be doing everything he can to try and, keep Chase from scoring 50 points. So this is a ripe game for upside for T. Higgins, man. This is the time to play him if you're going to play him.
Especially stud off the dud, too. Like, he got like a 0 last week.
And he could again, but at 5,900 and maybe one of the best spots of the season, his ownership, I think, will stay 10% or lower just because of these pay up guys going up and Jamar Chase being the prize. But T. Higgins, I will have a lot of exposure to T as well. I will not have any lineups with both those guys in them, but most of my lineups will have one of them.
Yeah. Maybe some Flacco with double.
Maybe.
Little Flacco with doubles. Got to play a little Flacco doubles. All right. No one talked about Josiah. Wait, I forgot my order. Did everybody
went.
Speak
Mm-hmm.
to this group? Everybody did, right?
Yep.
We're moving on. Okay, good. No one really mentioned too much. I guess it's not that relevant, but really outside of T, the only other one like Wandale is there. Again, though, I'm going to reserve Wandale, especially 17% owned if that holds Wandale for dart lineups or some lineups built around the Giants game. I'm going to contain the damage to the dart. All right, let's go to the sub and Booty. I mean, Burns, by the way, if Burns' booty call works out again, understand that this is a 1% owned player. So
he was less than that in the Millie Maker last week.
Yeah, literally sub 1% owned. What was his price?
It was the 4,800. I put him out there on this show last week, and I was toying back and forth with Drake May as the quarterback and who to stack him with. Kayshon Boudy's in a better matchup this week than he was last week, and he is becoming the WR1 on this team. And Drake May looks at him and only him most of the time. And so this is the guy that if I want to play Drake May, this is the guy that I want paired with Drake May.
I can't see going crazy for that as a one-off, but with Drake May, sure.
I didn't say I was going to play him as a one-off. I will be playing Drake May this week, though.
Yeah, so that's more. It's a stack with Drake May piece. Okay, I like it. Down with that. All right. Pop Douglas at this point barely gets any snaps. By the way, barely. He's not popping. Again, just to be clear, I think I had that game loaded up. Just to be clear, let's take a look at let's just verify some of this. So again, Pop Douglas lost all his touches to Mac Hollins last week.
Yeah, and I don't know if Mac Hollins will be a thing this week. That could have just popped last week. But, even his season long, his start, he was up there. He's 60+%. So maybe it is Mac Hollins and Kayshon Boudy.
Him. It's apparently Mac Hollins, Boudy, and Diggs.
Yeah. But
with
Diggs at the third. I mean, it's
Diggs third on the list. I mean,
it's-
what the hell is going on here? I don't even know. Up is down, left is right. Cats and dogs living together. It's complete chaos. All right, let's go under 5K. Let's find some bargain wide receivers that people can get down with this week. Let's see what we got. Some names here. Yeah, I mean, Keon Coleman, Alec Pierce, and Josh Downs, some names attached to that exciting Colts game. Got Keon Coleman stackable with Josh Allen there. You know, Hollywood stackable with Mahomes, but probably not standalone. I think Juwan Jennings could be played in all formats. And
You got Parker Washington down there.
Where's Parker? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Parker.
I actually
Thank you,
think his
BobbyWow, for pointing that
I actually
out.
think his teammate's a better play.
We'll play him over DJ Moore this week, I think.
I actually think his teammate
We
just
know.
above him is a better play.
Who's his
Dimey Brown.
teammate?
Dimey Brown.
Oh, Diami.
Yep, I think he's a better play than Parker
Interesting.
Washington this week in fantasy.
Interesting. What is your reasoning?
Ownership and the fact that he actually plays better against the coverage schemes that he's going up against. He's going up against cover 3 and cover 4. And he has better individual metrics than Parker Washington this year against those covers.
Yeah, they're about the same amount of usage. So
It'll be interesting to see how Darius Slayton does against San Francisco this week. I think he is a guy that could take the top off of this defense. If you're playing Jackson Dart, I would not have Darius Slayton in your lineups. I think a lot of, and you're starting to see where the ownership is going. A lot of people think that it's going to be Wan'Dale Robinson in this game, but actually, I could actually see that it's going to be Darius Slayton in this game from the wide receiving perspective.
I like that call. That's a good one.
yeah, no, Slayton very much in play. Much lower owned, and he's coming off 5 targets last week. I think Wan'Dale only had 4, so it's not like there's a usage issue here. I think Slayton just runs deeper routes. If you want to have a favorite.
It's like his third game back from injury too, so he's fully back into this, into the swing of things offensively on this game. So, yeah, if you're playing Dart, it's definitely I would probably lean more Darius Slayton as an ownership play than Wan'Dale. There
we go. All right, a couple of good pay down options there. Josiah, anybody you're thinking of? Who are you excited to click the button for this week? Sub 5K.
I'm not paying down a ton. I do have guys like Diami, Slayton. Let's see, anyone else? Washington. Yeah, not too much. I'm not going to get down here often because I'm paying down at running back.
There we go. Yeah.
Wow. Downs. A lot of guys who I'm just stacking with a lot of quarterbacks too.
A lot of that's for me too. There's a couple of one-offs, but for the most part, yeah, I tend to want to use these guys in stacks with their quarterback. Wow, anyone popping for you?
Can I beg, if not implore, the chat to not get too cute at pay down wide receiver this week? This is why we pay down a running back. It takes the shackles off. We don't have to feel forced to put our finger up in the air and find a guy down here that's going to put up 14 fantasy points. There are a couple guys, all the guys mentioned, I think, are options, and you might still need one guy in your lineup. Another guy that wasn't talked about, I like Keon Coleman quite a bit. He's pretty cheap. I think he's underpriced, especially in that game. We want a piece from that game. He's a piece that I'm going to take some shots on. And then Juwan Jennings would be the other guy not mentioned. I think he's the WR1 here, and his price, based on that role, is just too low. So don't get too cute. There are some options down here, but don't go too crazy with the paid on a running back we have.
Yep. Yeah, most of these guys are going to be stacked with their quarterbacks. Again, Juwan, very, very playable on his own. Just straight up play. And I like all the calls that you guys made with Slayton. And, I would say Pierce and Downs are probably also really interesting and very much pieces that are going to be part of those Daniel Jones lineups, but I probably won't have them anywhere else. And that's kind of how I would treat this whole area. I had a couple other names picked out, like Alik Ayomanor, I guess, and some of these other guys, but I don't really think you need to go there. Like Olamide, again, if I'm doing Olamide, Uncle Cheese, it's going to be with Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got an Uncle Cheese, by the way. My Uncle Cheese comes over for Thanksgiving, sits on a lounge chair, falls asleep after 5 minutes, snores away, and then at the end just wakes. Uncle Cheese. Thanks for coming, Uncle Cheese.
Oh, man.
Eats the brie thingy that we put out for Thanksgiving.
Bobby had to
Scooping
slide
it.
that one out there.
Double dipping chips in there. Like, bro, Uncle Cheese. Don't double dip the chip, all right? Eat one chip, you dip it, you fucking eat it. I don't want to see that chip back in the dip. Some class.
I think every family has one of those.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Bobby, wow, you don't have somebody coming to your Thanksgiving double dipping chips. You're like, bro, you just lick your fingers and put it back in the chips.
Oh, that's gross.
Wash your hand. What are you doing? Now I'm not touching the chips. I'm done. Done. You ruined it for me. All right. We have time constraints, and I'm here talking about
Uncle Cheese.
Uncle Cheese at Thanksgiving.
The whole tangent.
Man, I took you on a journey.
Really hit a wall
you on a journey, but you want to tell me you guys weren't transported to Thanksgiving and thinking like, yep, I've seen that and I've lived it. I know it very well.
If my eyes were closed, I would have started praying to bless the Thanksgiving meal, because that's how there I was.
I'm living. You know how you love Halloween, Bobby? Wow, I love Thanksgiving.
Whoa,
I get my kid home.
I'm a Christmas guy. Okay.
Christmas, but you love Halloween too. But Christmas, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm a Thanksgiving guy because my kid's coming home for the week, and that's fun for me.
That's beautiful. Aren't we all Thanksgiving guys?
Yeah. Plus, it's a whole day of football watching. So good. All right, let's talk about tight ends. You know, initially, I like a cheap tight end. I'm a cheap tight end guy. I like to go to the bargain zone. But with all this value at running back, we might be able to pay for tight ends this week. So, Burns, you are the tight end whisperer. Kraft, Warren, Gatson, Bowers, like so many good guys here up top, down below. I'm not even going to split it up. Give me 3 tight ends that you're very excited to hammer this week.
I guess it just depends on the game that you're going to attack. You know, Tucker Kraft is, he's getting into a stratosphere that's way up there. I like him. I think he's a good play. Is he a guy that I want to spend, $5,700 on? I don't know. Is he Trey McBride material? Maybe not, right? I think up in this range, I'll kind of give you guys like range salary wise instead of just best plays. But like Tyler Warren, I think to me, because I'm going to be using a lot of Daniel Jones this week, I think for me, this is the play at this upper tier range at 5,500, 5,600 range. Just below him, Brock Bowers, he could be a viable play at 5K too. Then when we get in the 4s, things get a little bit more interesting. I think Sam Laporta is a very decent play this week at his salary point. I think a lot of people are going to go to Travis Kelce in this one. And, Laporta is that slightly below Travis Kelce in salary. He's pretty much the 1-to-1 because there's really nobody really around him. Him and Kittle are the 1-to-1s off of Kelce, and they're going to garner less ownership. So I actually favor Kittle and Laporta more than I favored Kelce this week. And then in the 3K range, there's some viable plays in the 3K range. You got guys like TJ Hawkinson. That could be a very good play this week. Kyle Pitts at that high 3, low 4 range as well. These are guys that could actually pop off a little bit this week too. So, those are the guys that could actually do decent this week at tight end.
I like it. Hawkinson is I'll call it daring. I'll call that a daring pick. Tiberius James, one more time with JJ.
But he's low enough in salary that you can take that risk.
Yeah. How about you, Josiah? Give me a couple of tight ends that you're looking to target here.
Yeah. Burns touched on the ones I really love, but I'm willing to go back to Dalton Schultz if he plays. He's questionable, especially with them now having Nico back. I think that should open things up for Schultz again. So That's a play I'm pretty excited about. And then Juwan Johnson, he's showing up a little bit for me too, but that's just because I have a lot of Rams and they're trying to find a Saints
No.
player to come on the other
Don't
side
do
of
it. Don't do it.
I'll have
Do
a little
not-
bit, like 2-3%.
Don't rely on Tyler Shook to deliver fantasy goodness. You are going to be sorely disappointed.
Oh, and people in the chat are right. Kincaid, he's showing up for me too. That's
Yeah.
another tight end that disappointed last week that can show up again this week.
Go right back to Kincaid. BobbyWow, how you looking?
I think it's a lot of the same. Plenty of Kelsey. You know, I think the one guy, if I'm looking to take a risk, is probably Brock Bowers on DraftKings. His price is too intriguing. You know, given his upside, if he truly is fully healthy coming out of the bye, then I've got some interest against a bad Jaguars team. So, like all the guys mentioned, Kelsey, Pitts, I think would be two of my higher owned guys. But I think Bowers is maybe the guy that isn't getting enough attention here if I'm looking for some upside potential.
Yeah, I can feel that. I was thinking about Bowers as well. The field has been lulled to sleep about Bowers at this point, and he's back. He's full health, no brace, the whole deal. Why not, right? If you have the salary to spend, he might be one of the better 5K just players on the slate, regardless, outside of the running backs, I would say.
Yeah, agreed.
I
Just to address GC Samurai's question, no, we cannot trust Loveland. Not yet.
No Loveland. So Cole Kmet is back this week. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, he's healthy. He's good to go.
Oh, that's a ruiner. All right, that ruins any kind of Loveland interest. I mean, down here, you take Loveland out. For me, it's probably just like Theo as an acceptable play, but nothing I'm super excited about. I'm not that excited about tight ends. Kincaid, is he standalone? Probably not. Probably more of a stack with Josh Allen situation. Kelsey really only in stacks with Mahomes. I would not play Kelsey as a solo play. Kittle and Bowers, I think. I don't like paying up for tight ends, but like these two are fine if I'm going to pay up for them. And then of course you've got Tyler Warren, but that's probably, you know what? Nobody's talking about Rondé Gadsden. Is it too chasey to just keep going after that?
To me, he's a guy that fits if I'm, stack with Herbert. I don't know that I'm playing, going out on my way to play him, but he's been involved quite a bit.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got for tight end. Not in love with the position group. It's really just going to be stacked with my quarterbacks this week, or just take a shot with Bowers, YOLO. Or Theo. Theo is that $3,500 guy that he's going to get 5-6 targets probably, and probably do enough to make it worthwhile. Noah Fant with Flacco. All right. Let's move on to defense here. I want to kind of see what the chalk is saying. I don't like this at all. So the field is always going to go to kind of playing cheaper tight ends, defenses when they can. Man, I'm not playing Falcons defense on the road at the Bengals at all. I'm not playing Bengals defense. I don't even care if they were up against the Saints. Like literally the Bengals defense is one of the worst things I've ever seen as far as a team defense looks. They allowed the Jets to score 38 points.
They got -4 last week, and they were chalk.
And they lost their best player.
I mean, come on.
Come
on. Giants defense, more viable if I needed to pay down. That's maybe where I would go, but I don't like it either. I do love some of these other ones, though. So, Burns, why don't you take us through why? So this week, there's pay-up defenses. Let's the Packers, the Rams, the Chargers, the Lions. All four of those teams are set up in supreme, ultimate, double dare, physical challenge, super spots like never before. I feel I want to pay up at defense and play one of those teams. My personal favorite of them is the Rams, but I think you can make strong arguments for all four of them.
I actually think the best play on the entire slate's the Lions. With JJ McCarthy. Who is a rookie, who is not a rookie that is any standout guy. He's basically a rookie because he didn't play last year. So I'll just preface that. Not a standout guy by any stretch. So, I just think the Lions are going to be the lowest owned of these high dollar defenses when everything's said and done. except for maybe, the Patriots and the Colts below them. But it just the Lions and above. I'll just stick to that. I like the Lions the best. And it would go Lions, Rams, Chargers, then Green Bay for me. And then Patriots, I would actually filter in there as well because they're very viable as well, but they can get beat. They just don't have the double-digit fantasy production that I like to see as these other defenses have been able to produce. So, plus, these defenses can actually, get after the quarterbacks as well. With Surtain out, earlier in the week, I had some interest in the Broncos, but that interest is all gone now because Surtain's out. The reason why I like the Broncos is they're one of the highest sack teams in the entire NFL, so they get the pressure on the defense. They're just applying a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and we've seen Stroud can actually throw a lot of interceptions when he gets pressured. So that was an early week one, but without Surtain, I'm going to bypass that.
So let's actually attack this from a different angle. I love all those defenses. Again, for me, my favorite is the Rams by far, but I love the Lions too. JJ McCarthy seems like hot ass, if we're being honest right now. I think he could turn it around. Not like Tyler Shook. He's just going to be terrible. But like JJ McCarthy could all of a sudden play well. He's at least a drafted guy, a real prospect. But is anybody outside? Do we have a cheap defense that anybody could think of here that's like, you know what? I don't mind it. I'm okay with it. I have one. Like we're going to be in situations where we need to pay down for something. So I'm just going to give you mine. And then I'll go around. Give me your cheap defense that does not stand out. Probably not a good play, but fuck it. I need the salary savings, so I'm doing it. Right? For me, I think it's going to be, as weird as this sounds, the Raiders. Because at least they're at home and the Jaguars stink. Trevor Lawrence, not good. Good looking, but not good.
Whoa.
Beautiful people get handed things in life. They have advantages. It's called good-looking privilege. It's unacceptable. He had that. That's why he was the best prospect of all time, and then he sucks. What else could it be? But anyway, I digress. Because I took him in, pick one in my dynasty leagues that year, and now it's been 5 years of misery. But Josiah, got any defense down here that you're like, I got to pick one. I don't like it, but I'm going to do it.
I have some interest in the Chiefs. We've seen the Bills fall apart offensively at times this year, especially if you were able to shut down the run. And so I'm just not afraid to get to them.
There we go. And BobbyWow?
It's the Giants for me. It feels like, Magic Mac has kind of run out of the juice. He's looked much more pedestrian, much more like the Mac Jones that we've been accustomed to. So I think if I'm taking a risk, I'm paying all the way down to the Giants.
I like it. All right, guys. Halloween tournament tactics. That's going to wrap it up for us this time. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. You want to get signed up at DFS Army, promo code Geek, 10% off DFS Army VIP. And of course, I forgot to mention Sharp App. Sharp App is crushing it right now. You should see the screenshots of our DFS Army members who've been messing with, at Sharp App using the arbitrage tool, the arbitrage betting tool. All you see is green every single day. Guys are taking in $2,000, $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. Average Joes using Sharp App. So make sure to check out the Sharp App arbitrage tool, sharp.app. Promo code Geek gets you a 7-day free. It's actually sharp.app/geek. To get the promo, you get 7-day free trial. You got to get into Arbing. Everybody in the chat already knows it. You guys have been checking it out. It is a money printing machine. Use that money you make in Arbing, and we just lose it in DFS that week. It's a beautiful cycle. It's a wonderful thing until you hit in DFS. Guys, that's right. Players Club tomorrow at noon right here on DFS Army YouTube channel. You have to be a YouTube subscriber, a paid subscriber, or a DFS Army subscriber in order to access the Players Club.
YouTube member.
A YouTube member. That's the proper terminology. Thank you. But Brady, you got to be a YouTube member in order to access the Players Club on Saturdays. You're going to want to. We build lineups together and smash Good luck this week, everybody. I'm going to take us out with that song that we brought us in with one more time. Let's go. Good luck this week. Helmets up.
Welcome to Tournament Tactics. Yeah, where the sharpest minds in DFS battle it out. And only the bold play survive. Let's go! We got Kevin Allen, the Geek in command. DFS Army, he built the brand. Star arbitrage, your numbers on lock. Talking new feed while he milks the chalk. And it's BobbyWow, call him 2 times. Nearly make a king with the sharpest lines. When Bobby speak, yeah, you listen close. Cause that galaxy brain just might toast your hopes. Burns in the lab with the spreadsheet magic. DraftKings book, that math is treasure. Higher rep and that Buckeye pride. Breaking the slate, he's on that ride. And Josiah, yeah, the cool black nerd. NBA stacks, that's his word. Ladies man jokes, nah, not quite. But he's still dropping GPP bombs all night. Tournament tactics, it'll bust the mind. TV sets, say chocolate.